All right, 7 p.m. Monday night. This is the SUF live show or the Michael Dyfus live show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. This is in my Facebook group. And if you have watched my live videos before, I used to do them inside right there. But I'm gonna switch it up right now. So in the last couple of months, I've been building very patiently my garage gym, which is this right here. So this is my first ever video that I'm gonna do in my garage gym right here. Now, if you're tuning in, you wanna learn more about how to get beach lean. Now, if you're like most people, you're probably thinking that I'm just saying this, that beach lean means the same as being lean, but not so much. Beach lean is basically what most of you want. There's beach lean, and then there's shredded. Beach lean is when you can go to the beach and take your shirt off and feel amazing. Shredded is when you get into the single-digit body fat and you're getting ready to get on stage. That's shredded. Now I'm gonna get into the 9th tip of this video, is the difference between beach lean and being shredded. But let's just jump straight into it. So, I don't know how echoey it is here, but leave a comment below if it's super echoey. I don't know. Tip number 1 for you to get beach lean. Beach lean for girls, lower than 20% body fat. For guys, lower than 15% body fat. Tip number 1 is something you already know, and that's just energy deficit. So, getting on enough calories that they are on a slight deficit so you lose fat. Now, I've talked about this many times already, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but if you're new to the group, or maybe this is your first video that you're watching of me, the biggest mistake that most people make is that when they try to lose weight, they try to cut too many calories, and what happens is if you're, let's say, a guy 35 years old, and you're sitting down and you can grab a whole roll right there, and you start eating healthy, but you know you're not eating enough. You know you're eating like maybe 1,500 calories. You're gonna see results in the first couple of weeks, and that's gonna motivate you to keep going. But those results are going to rebound, and then you're going to get frustrated after usually 2 to 3 weeks. Then you're gonna start getting frustrated because you're going to lose a lot of muscle. Now, when you lose muscle, you lose your metabolism. That is how many calories that you burn at rest. And then when you lose your metabolism, well, there's only one thing you can do, and that is for you to start eating the appropriate amount of calories again. And that is for you to increase your calories again, meaning you're gonna gain fat. So here you lost muscle, then you're gonna gain fat again, and basically you're just doing a body recomposition in the wrong direction. The way you prevent that is you get on a slight caloric deficit. So I know I've said this many times before, but even my elite clients, my clients that pay $300 a month, they train with me 3-4 times a week. Some of them have been with me for like 4 years. They still need to hear this every 3 months, and there's no shame in that. That doesn't make you a bad person, but you need to be reminded every 3 months because you are only human. Just like power lifters that squat 1,000 pounds, they need to be reminded by their trainers that they pay $1,000 a session for to keep their chest up. You would think they know better, right? But everybody needs to be reminded every 3 months because you're always gonna forget because you're too busy. You got a career, you got kids, you got family, you got a wife, you got a husband, whatever it is, and then you're not a fitness model. You're not too in depth on this. So get on a slight caloric deficit. That's 1. 2 is to build muscle and keep muscle. So building muscle is one thing. Keeping muscle is a whole other thing. Building muscle, you do that by lifting heavy weight. You'll build some muscle. But how do you keep muscle? You lift heavier weight. So you never lift the same weight for the rest of your life. You always want to do progressive overload. It's just a fancy term for basically lifting heavier weight, or doing more reps, or doing a better stance, or doing it longer, or doing it slower, just increasing the intensity of your workouts. That's how you keep the muscle, because you only get better, you get worse. And if you want to keep the muscle, you got to strive to get better. So there's no such thing as building muscle and then just cruising. Just like there's no such thing as making money and then cruising. You either make money or you lose money. You never maintain the same amount of money. So it's the same principles that apply to fitness apply to the same principles that apply to life apply to fitness. Now, okay, step number 3 is for you're on a slight caloric deficit, right? I'm gonna open the window, maybe it's not as echoey. You're on a slight caloric deficit, right? So you got that slight caloric deficit. Now, let's say you're on a 300 calorie deficit. You're a guy, you're on 2,000 calories a day. You're eating 2,000 calories a day. You're starting to lose weight. You're starting to get, you're calling yourself shredded, but you're starting to lose some body fat. Now you got to adjust your deficit as your weight goes down. So the amount of calories that you should have, usually you want to keep adjusting your calories so that you keep losing about 1% of your body weight per week. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you can lose 2 pounds a week. If you're a girl that weighs 150 pounds, you can lose 1.5 pounds a week. Now that range fluctuates from 0.5% to 1.5% on the high end, but usually 1% is a good number for that. And yeah, there's a merit there too, actually. So look, that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to get enough protein in. One way to look at protein is to get 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. But what I like to do is to keep it simple. Let's get 30% of your calories from protein. Very simple, because that just means that every meal has 30% consists of 30% protein. Then you're there. You're gonna get there. Now, so that usually does mean that as you cut calories, you need to eat not more protein, but the same amount of protein, which makes it feel like it's more, because as you eat less calories, then you're gonna need more. You're gonna eat the same amount of protein, but you're gonna cut out more foods. So usually that's why you cut carbs and fats, and you keep the protein the same, which makes it feel like you're eating a lot of protein, but really you're eating the same amount of protein as before. All right, that's 4. 5, processed food. Limit it as much as you can, but don't cut it out altogether. Because if all you do is eat perfect, then you'll become too efficient. But if you eat 90% single ingredient foods, the thing is with single ingredient foods is they have a low TEF, thermic effect of food. Single ingredient foods have a high TEF. Processed food has a low TEF. So basically, if you eat processed food and it's the same amount of calories, same amount of macros, the protein bar looks amazing, but it's refined sugar, it's artificial ingredients, your body doesn't digest it the same way as it would beef jerky or almonds or something like that. Real food always wins. There is no protein bar that can simulate real food. There's some that come really close, but they taste so bad you might as well eat real food. So that's 5. 6 is, okay, this one's huge. You got to decide whether you want to enjoy the process and keep your results for life, or do you want to look good for a specific date and time? So do you want to get slow results and keep them for the rest of your life, or do you want to look good for some type of event and that's it? My battery's low. There's no right or wrong on both. And I'm just saying this just to be politically correct, but I personally think everybody should go for the slow route, but I also understand human nature. In human nature, you're human, you want things fast, and you want things with the minimum amount of effort required. So find a fine line between those two. In a perfect world, you do it slow, and you focus on your habits instead of the numbers. Because if you focus on your habits long enough, then the numbers automatically will change. So, watch out. Step number 8. Where am I? 7 or 8? Type in the comments below, where am I at? I forgot where I'm at. 7 or 8? I think this is 8. 8 is watch out for hyper palatable foods. So there's regular foods, then there's palatable foods, which are tasty foods. Then there's hyper palatable foods. Hyper palatable foods is like, pizza with your favorite dressing on, or ice cream or something like that. Palatable basically means tasty. So your food can be palatable. Your food can also be not palatable if you want to be boring. But if it's hyper palatable, that's what you want to watch out for. Now 9, I think I'm at 9. I completely lost track. Is to understand the difference between beach lean and ultra shredded. So look, if you want to get beach lean, then it's mostly staying mostly consistent, and you can mess up here and there, and you're focusing on pounds. But if you want to get shredded, like getting on stage or getting ready for a picture, or really pushing it to the max, then it is 100% consistency and dedication, and cutting out all distractions. And instead of focusing on pounds, you're focusing on grams instead. So that's all I got. 9 points for you to get beach lean. I'm looking through the comments on my phone real quick, scrolling real quick, but I don't think there are any. Let me see real quick. No. All right, so hope you like this, guys. If you're watching the replay, just hit like and leave a comment, or if you have any questions on this, I'll get back to you in the replay. All right, I hope you guys are doing great. Have a good night. See you guys.